Welcome, everyone, at long last, to Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog, one of the more infamous games in the Sonic franchise. He's one of the few characters to get his own game, but it's a mixed blessing because it's not a particularly good game, and this isn't the Shadow that anyone liked.
That's the first thing you see.
This isn't why he was cool. This is a very different kind of the time cool that just did not work out.
Oh, this game sucks.
You know how in marketing research where they always have like a focus group? This game looks like the result of one of those where it's like, Sonic's not cool enough, what do we do? Well, our sales are fine.
This game is very much a by committee type game.
I will always stand on the side of I Am All of Me, though. This song rocks.
This song is cool. This was during my nu metal phase, so I was on board with this soundtrack. But listening to it again, it is very lacking in character.
I guess. It's got good riffage, though.
For some of them, like I Am All of Me is one of the few cases.
Oh, right. I thought we were still talking about that song. Yeah, the soundtrack as a whole is balls.
Yeah.
I was gonna say ironic because the entire game is about solving a plot point left in Heroes and about finding the mysteries of Shadow's backstory.
Oh boy, they do more than fumble that. They play catch with it and nobody catches.
Sonic's fucking dead.
Yeah, taking it in.
That's probably a good trailer image. Like, Sonic dies! Except, I don't know, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
That pose is one of the key arts of him, like, with his arm over his knee, like, I can't go on.
Duck.
Ah!
Whoa!
This is the best menu.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Why does that name haunt me? It's the only thing I can remember. And that gruesome image. Maria! Who am I? And why can't I remember anything? And who is this Maria? Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans.
Shadow. As you can see, the day of reckoning will soon be here. Find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me as promised.
Huh? Who are you, and how do you know I'm Shadow? And what are you talking about? Just what was that all about? If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him. The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds.
We probably don't need to harp too much on the voice acting because it's universally agreed. Sonic the Hedgehog is not a franchise gifted with great voice acting, even from the start. Generally, I think Jason Griffith does okay as Shadow, but David Humphrey, I think, was the previous voice.
Yeah.
He had a lot more personality to it. Jason Griffith, he approaches Shadow much like someone who only heard the Solid Snake voice but never heard him say anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't be surprised that he does it so he can mask the fact that he also voices Sonic, because he voices both of them.
He does a good job differentiating them.
Yeah, I'll give him that. To me, David Humphries will always be Shadow. I'll say this about Jason Griffith's Shadow. it's better than the current Shadow voice, which to me sounds like a parody of the Shadow voice.
Yeah, I weirdly enough agree.
He does say everything in like a dull whisper for the most part, but it's not the worst voice in the game. It's not the worst acting.
No.
Black Doom might be. Because he's not intimidating.
So how do these levels work, Thorn? How is this game set up?
Well, if you're expecting it to play like most other games in the franchise, sometimes it does. You're actually given a choice of 2 or 3 different missions. As you can see, when we met Sonic, he wanted us to kill all of the black creatures. Then we ran into Doom's floating eyeball, and he said, "Kill all the soldiers." Or I can ignore that and just get to a goal ring. There are good, evil, and neutral routes throughout the game, and depending on which one you choose, you go to a different level and end up at a different final boss and a different end of the story. So you see Sonic's just waiting. You want to be my friend, right? Let's go murder!
I was actually trying to go and find a donut, but okay.
So what I'm going to do with this Let's Play is I'm not going to, like, you can sort of just spiderweb around between the different routes. For the Let's Play, I'm going to focus on a specific route. This is going to be neutral. This is just getting to the goal ring, and that's going to be the case for the next part as well. And then we'll be going through the purely hero route, then the purely evil route, and then there are also neutral good, neutral evil routes. Each of those ends on 2 potential bosses. Like, you can't go purely neutral and end up at a neutral boss. In the final level, you're going to have to choose to either do the good or evil mission. But I will also be showing those, because once you've beaten all of the bosses and reached the end of all of the routes, then there is a secret final story. And you don't need to worry about missing anything if you don't do the various... If you didn't want to see every potential route you could do. The game did include titles for every potential route you could do. I don't know why. But all of the cutscenes are exactly the same depending on just which mission you do, like just which level you end up as. Otherwise, the cutscenes don't change.
I remember that was a big thing in the marketing campaign, like, you can make Shadow a hero or a villain. You decide, and to hear, well, it's kind of mostly going to be the same for like 3 different paths. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah, as we're going to see, it doesn't amount to much for Shadow's character in pretty much every way, because Shadow doesn't act particularly different no matter which route you take. The story doesn't play out much different, mostly because the story doesn't really play out, period.
I completely forgot that Shadow could flip buses.
Yeah. The game really wants to be cool. You could, like we already saw, there is gunplay in this game, and that is actually the preferred way to do combat. Just doing the homing attack only does the bare single unit of damage no matter what you're attacking. Whereas guns you can fire very quickly. There are some extremely powerful guns later, and those take care of the enemies much quicker.
The gunplay is weirdly, like, it's weirdly one of the more fun parts of the game. I played it a little bit for half hour today just to refamiliarize myself. And kind of running past dudes and pressing B to blast them, you know, it's weirdly fun.
Well, the thing is, Sonic Team at this stage, they stated that they wanted to challenge themselves because they had already made 3 3D platforming games, and so they wanted to make a gun action game, and they settled on Shadow because, I don't know, I looked for interviews and they didn't give me an answer. They just said, well, Shadow has to be the guy because
Once I find out
he's Shadow.
Never mind that we had the robots that did guns.
They're not very marketable, though.
So also, as you saw there are different checkpoints throughout the levels because you are doing missions. Only occasionally is getting to the end and getting to the goal ring the mission.
The black aliens have hit 6 major cities around the world, and every city is reporting significant damage and casualties. Among them, Westopolis has received the heaviest casualties due to its weakened defense system. Downtown Westopolis has been almost completely destroyed. Unconfirmed sources have also reported seeing a black hedgehog in Westopolis.
Shadow? Deploy the troops now! And if you find Shadow with the black aliens, then kill them all.
But sir, isn't Shadow on our
I
side?
gave you an order, soldier. He's evil and he's the enemy. You can't fool me, Shadow. This time, you're mine.
And the next game, he's our agent.
We don't know why either.
And then we forgot.
They just kind of left the franchise for a while.
You've deliberately disobeyed me, Shadow.
No one tells me what to do. I have my own reasons for collecting the Chaos Emeralds.
You really don't understand the situation here, do you? Perhaps Professor Gerald has done more to your memory than I imagined.
The Professor?
Strange that you don't remember your maker.
What'd you say?
Silence! The ramifications of your disobedience will be severe.
I don't remember saying I'd team up with you. I was just taking a stroll down Westopolis.
I know you don't want us to focus on the voice acting too much, but that was the best.
What? Where am I? Whoa. I guess I underestimated his powers. There's definitely something going on out there. Now it's up to me to find out what they're up to.
Shadow, he told you he was killing all the humans.
What?
He was telling you he was gonna kill all the humans and he wanted to team up with you.
You know, there's a problem with this Shadow being the... Oh, hi, Knuckles. This Shadow being the star of his own game because he seems to deliberately avoid motivation. I don't care about humans. I'm not going to obey you. Where am I? I better figure it out.
I guess in their heads they thought keeping him ambivalent during cutscenes makes it seem like, oh, he could go either way, but it just kind of makes him seem stupid and like he doesn't actually know what's happening. Like he's actually senile.
Yeah, because in Adventure 2, he was actually quite motivated. He was sort of using Eggman against himself. Like, he was just using Eggman to accomplish his own mission of destroying everything. Here, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't know who he is. And I guess there's something there, but they don't quite follow through on it.
I think the biggest problem is that his motivation doesn't line up with anything that he's currently doing.
Yeah.
I have to figure out who I am. Oh, well, I guess I'll explore the ruins in the sky.
Okay, this is one mechanical change I actually really like. Every time you get hit, you only lose 10 rings.
All right.
That, I think, is a very good thing, and I wish they had kept it.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things they did with Shadow, like, not just in terms of the gameplay. Yeah, he can do a punch, but it sucks.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
and a worthless kick. When they were trying to market it, the whole thing was like, okay, Sonic Heroes that was aimed at younger children. We need a cool, like, edgier game to appeal to teens. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to aim at an older audience.
And it was going to be rated T before the E10 rating was added.
Yeah, the ESRB came out with the E10 rating, but when it was still T, like, Sega had demos and you could only play them if you were 13 and up. But then the age rating comes in, and then they deliberately lower it, and they also remove the blood. And
The blood!
Like, I don't understand what the goal was of, like, let's try to make it edgy and more appealing. Oh, wait, we can actually market it more if we aim towards kids. Never mind, dial it back a little.
This game's whole existence is hilarious.
I mean, I don't know if the game would be any better if it actually got a T rating.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
That gets an aha from Knuckles.
Okay, so this is something that's in every level. You'll notice I picked up a key earlier. If you find 5 keys in a level, it unlocks that door. I'm not going to do that because they're entirely optional. You'll either get, like, an extra strong weapon, you'll get a shortcut, or you'll get a vehicle. Don't worry about the vehicles.
Oh my god, the vehicles.
Oh, the
I
vehicles.
completely forgot about them somehow.
So we were talking earlier about the gunplay. That is kind of fun, but the guns only really work if you jump and immediately start firing, because Shadow floats in midair and you can actually aim it. You cannot aim it on the ground, and the guns suck that way.
The weird thing is, sometimes it auto-aims. Like, so, there was plenty of times where I was running by a dude. I was just like, hello, sir, B. And then they died, and it was great. But sometimes that didn't happen. Whoa, what's happening?
So, along with the missions being both evil and good, depending on which enemies you attack, you build up 2 different meters. The red one is the dark meter. When you fill that up, you do a chaos blast, which kills everything around you. If you kill, like, say, the black aliens, that fills up the good meter, which allows you to do chaos control, which lets you bypass the entire game, which is self-defeating if you're doing the good mission, because usually, in that case, you're not just getting to the goal ring and you're going to miss your mission.
I know, it's so baffling. Like, it's only good if you're doing the neutral, and every other time it's more of a hindrance.
I do as I decide.
It is actually useful in bosses, because in that case it just freezes time, which makes a little more sense.
Perfect.
An A. A for ass, am I right?
Oh yeah, there's light swearing in this game, and it's always really awkward.
Mr. President, we've received a report from the Central Information Agency. Our ground troops have successfully pushed back the black aliens from Westopolis. We've also managed to suppress enemy forces in 5 other cities. There's also reports that the CIA's mainframe has been compromised. We're investigating the incidents now. It is a strong possibility that this was also committed by the black aliens.
Tell the commanding generals that the United Federation will never surrender to terrorists.
Yes, Mr. President.
This planet was once saved from tyranny and annihilation by you 2 heroes. Now mankind must protect this peace at all costs. We must stand united to defend our world against these invaders.
It's such an easy thing to point out, but it really is amazing how, like, that's the phrasing they went with.
And they use no other phrasing.
Like, you could have just said the aliens.
I wonder if there are any Chaos Emeralds around here. What? That's right. I somehow escaped, but was then captured by those humans. But from where? And why?
I guess I fell.
It feels like I've been here before.
Now we're in a power plant. Sure.
I'm impressed that everything's standing after, you blew the whole island up.
Hey, Doom, don't you have anything better to Jesus Christ?
Where's my dad?
Hey, Charmy, don't you have anything better to do?
I'm 5, and there's no school in this world. Of course I don't.
Well, Dad put me in school, but then it kind of blew up. Not because of the aliens, he did it.
You know what I do for school? Invade government bases.
Hey, you found the key! Looks like it goes in a door
Charmy's a bit the worst in this game.
I like his voice. I don't like him.
Right. Oh god, the discs.
Speaking of vehicles,
This is technically one. A super surfing Shadow Man.
A Roomba, that's cool.
A nuclear Roomba. You're not riding it, dickwad.
I also can't touch the ground. I'm cursed.
Charmy, do you have to make a comment about everything?
Yep.
Oh, wait, this is the thing all the NPCs do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yep, none of them shut up.
The irony of that this is feeling more and more childish the further you go along
Yeah.
for a game that's trying to be more edgy.
Ow, the children.
Ow, Charmy.
This is like a perfect storm of inconsistencies. 4Kids shows up to do your edgy game that you try to make less edgy. You introduce things to your game to make it seem more cooler, but then it's also kind of easier with the ring thing.
Here's the thing, a more adult, quote-unquote, game starring Shadow is not inherently a bad idea. Like, Adventure 2 showed you can go... Like, Eggman killed a lot of people in that game.
Yeah.
You didn't directly see it, but he did it. The game sort of took itself seriously. And I don't know if I would say this game takes itself seriously. I feel like it needed to more than it did. But I think it was in one of the Hero games, I sort of pitched an idea of a Shadow starring game that also starred Rouge and Omega, like a team-based game, almost like a sequel to Sonic Heroes, but just starring that team, that I think could work out pretty well if you respected Shadow at all. I don't know if this game respects Shadow.
Yeah,
No, they're just trying to market him.
You said that you don't know if the game takes itself as seriously as it needs to. I find no humor in the tone of this game. I think it's trying to take itself as seriously as it possibly can, and that kind of makes it hilarious in a completely unintentional way, I think.
So instead, it needs to loosen up a bit.
Yes, if this game was more... This game feels of its time. It feels like it very much feels like it is trying to do something and failing in an embarrassing way. If they leaned into that embarrassment more and tried to make it more ridiculous, then yeah, I think this game would be a bit more fun. Mechanically, it's still horrible, but the story would be less, like, groan-inducing.
I agree with both of your points. I do think that Sonic definitely has the potential to tell more serious stories. I mean, that's kind of, Sonic's conception was to be an edgier alternative to Mario, while still being his own thing. It's just that they went about it the wrong way, and what sucks about this is that this failed spectacularly. Not in the sense of sales. This was commercially successful, but the damage it did to Shadow's character, and it being one of the knockout punches because after this, Sonic 06 came out.
Oh, yeah?
People were not sure what the fuck was gonna happen to Sonic after that.
That's a good point. Right before this was Sonic Heroes. I still argue Sonic Heroes is worse mechanically than Shadow. Shadow's bad, but it's more playable, because it's easier to understand how to do anything. Sonic Heroes doesn't even know how itself plays, but Sonic Heroes gets more of a pass because that came after Adventure 2, and everyone was big on that.
Those idiots! They're destroying everything! How can I take over the city and build the Eggman Empire if there is no city? I'm at my limit. I have no choice! Send in the Eggman fleet! Charge!
It hasn't aged well, but at the time, people had a lot of affection for it, and they still do today. Sonic Heroes was rough, but I think coming so soon after that, people gave it more of a pass.
I bet no one expected this baby could fly.
I transported this brilliant flying fortress to this planet over 2,000 years ago. It's magnificent, the perfect killing machine. ready to oppose terror in unimaginable ways. Do these fools really believe they can stop me?
Isn't that the doctor?
Shadow, do not fear.
Again, did not say I would team up with you. I don't know where this wee nonsense is coming from.
This is top nooch.
It seems that with every route you take, what Black Doom wants you to do seems to change.
Sky, staring at it from afar.
Just an observation. Has every level started with Shadow dropping in from the sky?
I think so.
I jump off things, and wherever I go, I go.
Because like the last spot, his feet were planted firmly on the ground, but then he dropped in from the sky and started grinding, even though he didn't need to.
Oh god, the rocket launchers are useless. Those don't auto-aim at all.
Not at all.
Plus the Eggman weapons are so funny and cartoony and stupid looking.
Speaking of confused tone,
Eggman's robots are still goofy, the goofy Sonic Heroes ones.
so there's almost something here. Depending on what level you're in, Eggman can either be the good route or the evil route. He's the good route if the bad route is Black Doom. He's evil if it's one of Sonic's friends that you're with. And that could almost say something about, like, the nature of morality or anything, but no, it's just because these characters are here, this is the good and this is the bad.
Yeah, it could almost say that. The problem is something that I realized in Sonic Heroes was that in almost every Sonic game, Eggman ends up becoming a secondary villain in the end, which kind of neuters him. Try and think of one where he's actually the villain at the end since Sonic Adventure.
I think Sonic Generations.
Yeah, technically, but he was still being held by the evil time thing, TM.
Thought it was like a robot that he was controlling with the other past Eggman.
It was some spirit.
Spirit!
At least in that game, Eggman was the final boss.
They're doing great, Eggman.
Ooh, Sonic Rush. Sonic Rush, he's the bad guy.
Alright.
Him and Eggman Nega, they're the final boss.
Plus, this gun is the size of you.
This looks like a pop gun.
You think he would just fall over then?
It fires ping pong balls.
Maybe I'm destined to be a ping pong champion.
Time to watch Balls of Fury and find my destiny.
That was a mistake.
He says 2 minutes in.
Perhaps instead I should play Balls of Fury for the Wii.
A second mistake.
I've run out of Balls of Fury media. What do I do now?
My ultimate mistake.
This is who I'm not. What the hell is that?
What is that?
Oh, also, what the hell is this Walker boy?
I want to introduce my new technique, the pelvic woo.
So I might need to render that clip at 30 FPS for you all to see what we were seeing. The preview is in 30. The final video will be at 60. The vehicle was flashing, so at 30 FPS, it just looked invisible and like Shadow was flying crotch first.
So, when you do neutral routes, how long do these levels tend to last?
A reasonable length for those of you coming straight from Sonic Heroes.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a game that is sped ran pretty often, and you usually see neutral runs because of a glitch you can do with the warp pad, which just gives you infinite chaos control, and so you just zip all the way to the end.
Oh. Well, that sounds efficient, but boring.
Honestly, it's kind of interesting just seeing how quickly they can get a faster time.
Speaking of which, Chao's control.
Chaos, fuck this.
I thought he was gonna bump into the rocket, so it's chaos, ka-dunk, and then he just fell.
No. Gotta hit this thing so we can use it as a vehicle.
Or we can try. There we go.
For these, just hold down the A button to boost past it.
Katula Vasika, Shadow! Oh, thank God. I forgot what an obstacle was!
I call that Cirque du Soleil Shadow.
Shad de Soldo. I tried something there. It didn't quite work, but I'm proud of myself.
I'm detecting an energy source above. You need to destroy all the power sources. Turn back around.
Shut up! God, it never ends. You're right.
Do you have an off switch? I don't mean the monitor, I mean you.
You're not getting away from me this time, Doctor.
It was right behind you. You were talking to him.
He was inside the TV.
So this goes back to the half-baked nature of the story of it. Good route, I want to defeat these things. Evil route, I want to help these things. Neutral route, I don't care. I'm going to get the Chaos Emeralds and solve my own thing. There was no Chaos Emerald at the end there. What the fuck do you care about Dr. Eggman here?
Yeah, like, why was this level a thing?
Because you saw the airship and Black Doom was like, you should kill him. And Shadow was like, I'm not going to do that. Well, time to start the level.
The neutral path in this game is like that cartoon trope where the two characters are like trying to impress this girl, but the girl doesn't give a shit about either of them. In this, Shadow's, I guess Shadow's the girl. I don't know if this metaphor worked.
I don't care about me. I think.
I don't care about anything.
It almost feels like they were trying to leave every little section open-ended enough, like, okay, if you do hero here, neutral here, dark there, then this could easily be interwoven with XYZ, but it's kind of haphazard, and this is clearly one of their first times trying to do something like this. You could make the argument like, oh yeah, in Adventure 2 they had a hero and a dark side, but there weren't like different paths in every level.
Yeah.
It was just, here's the hero story and here's the dark story.
Yeah, it was two perspectives, not two paths.
Here, they're trying to do 3 paths per level, and even though there's all these different ways for you to go about it, I guess they kind of couldn't think of a way to write around, okay, but what if the player does neutral, 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 good, and then they're at a Taco Bell at the end.
As the world melts around Shadow. Wow, what are they doing with the beans these days?
I would unironically love a Shadow the Hedgehog game that point A is nothing like point B, but by design. Level 1, you start out breaking out of a coffin because they thought Shadow was dead. Level 12, here you are, Shadow. Here's your diploma for graduating as an engineering student. Like, I would love that.
Yeah, like an episodic cartoon.
The true neutral route needs to be truly neutral. Like, Shadow ends up in a completely different city from everyone else. He just sees an explosion in the distance. It says, wonder what that was.
Taco.
And it goes back to having a nap in a hotel.
Also, one thing I don't think we pointed out, there is no consequence to doing like kind of one mission and the rest of another. Like, you could kill like 39 out of 40 humans and then kill 40 out of 40 aliens and still get the good route.
Yeah, the only thing that affects the neutral route doesn't take into account your good and evil scores. It only cares about how fast you got through the level. If you do a good or evil mission, the score, like, depending on if you kill the black creatures or the soldiers or what have you, it does remove the points of the other one. So, like, if you got the good mission, it does remove the points for the soldiers you killed, and that affects your score. But, like, the story doesn't care, no. That's about it. It's actually kind of hard to get below an A for the most part. Like, I don't get all A's in this Let's Play. I did as a kid somehow,
Oh,
but
Your Sonic Heroes accomplishment.
I apparently put a pin in that.
I mean, I do think it's kind of funny that you can just kill 44 out of 45 humans and then you slaughter all these aliens, and then Sonic's like, good job, buddy. I knew you were on our side. I mean, the most they could do is just yell at you when, like, you team up with Sonic and you hit, like, one of the gun soldiers. He's like, hey, don't do that.
Stop! 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 Okay, good, you did.
Oh, no, wait, you're doing it again. No, wait.
it's like you're beating the shit out of Sonic, and then he's like, "Please spare my life." And like one punch from death, he's like, "Gee, thanks, buddy."
I knew you were my friend.
All right, well, next time we're doing the second half of the neutral route. And as a reminder, you have to choose to either do the good or evil mission in the final level, because you only have two choices of bosses in that case. But I am going to be showing up both, and that's going to be the case for the other routes as well. Duck.